I got 3 friends here. How many do you have? All right. Without further ado, I think we should probably get ready to get started. So let me turn some music on. See, I've got this little thing going on in the background. I think this will be good background for it. Nice and quiet, very simple. Brought to you by a log, I guess. It's also 8 hours, so I don't really have to worry about it. Relax with TV backgrounds. Yeah, sick. Where's my... Okay, we'll switch back over sitting. Now look at this. Boom. Now I'm looking down. Oh god, I'm fucking... Hold on. I'm going crazy again. Squump. Squump. There we go. That's a little bit better. Don't want to go too crazy. There we go. All right. Can't hear you visiting cousins is playing Megalovania on the piano. Actually, mad impressive. What the hell? Also, the size disparity between IRL Obi and this Obi is very funny. Correct. Yes, Obi is actually in real life much smaller than this, and Roxanne would be much bigger. But this is a world of fantasy and joy. So, you know, that's how it goes. I need to get I need to make a key so I can switch between these two really easily. Because right now I kind of gotta look up and like, look at you, and then go back to it. Oh look, Gander! Look at Gander! Watch! He opens him's eyes when I begin to read. I didn't even notice that. Hims loves the story. Hims loves the story. That's so cute. That I did not notice that. That is so fucking cute, man. Oh my god. All right, hold on. I gotta also gotta no, not that. I gotta adjust. Ah! Hello, I'm back. I gotta make it so that there's not so much. That's about the best I can get on the outlining. So like, what is this? Oh god. Okay. Yeah, that's gonna have to do. Alright, that's fine. Send to the Shadow Realm PNG count. Ah! No, please. Please do not. Chairs nice roasting on a pin fear. Jack Frost nipping at your doors. Alright, you guys ready? Oh, I just realized that the flames are not moving, I guess because I wasn't clicked on it. If I do this... Okay, good. Okay. Alright. Without further ado, everyone, let's get down to reading. Introduction. The Odyssey is, along with the Iliad, one of the 2 oldest works of literature in the Western tradition. It is an epic poem. Epic, both in the sense that it is long, and in the sense that it presents itself as telling an important story in the traditional formulaic language used by archaic poets for singing the tales of gods, wars, journeys, and the collective memories and experience of the Greek-speaking world. Modern connotations of the word epic are in some ways misleading when we turn to the Homeric poems, the texts that began the Western epic tradition. The Greek word epos means simply word, or story, or song. It is related to a verb meaning to say or to tell, which is used, in a form with a prefix, in the first line of the poem. The narrator commands the muse, tell me, en epē. An epic poem is, at its root, simply a tale that is told. The Odyssey is grand, or, in modern terms, epic, in scope. It is over 12,000 lines long. The poem is elevated in style, composed entirely in a regular poetic rhythm, a 6-beat line, dactylic hexameter, and its vocabulary was not that used by ordinary Greeks in everyday speech, in any time or place. The language contains a strange mixture of words from different periods of time, and from Greek dialects associated with different regions. A handful of words in Homer were incomprehensible to Greeks of the classical period. The syntax is relatively simple, but the words and phrases in these combinations are unlike the way that anybody ever actually spoke. The style is, from a modern perspective, strange. It is full of repetitions, redundancies, and formulaic expressions. These mark the poem's debt to a long tradition of storytelling and suggest that we are in a world that is at least partly continuous with a distant, half-forgotten past. In some ways, the story told in this long piece of verse is small and ordinary. It is a story, as the first word of the original Greek tells us about a man, Andra. That Andra being a man, I guess in Greek. He is not the man, but one of many men, albeit a man of extraordinary cognitive, psychological, and military power. One who can win any competition, outwit any opponent, and manage, against all odds, to survive. The poem tells us how he makes his circuitous way back home across stormy seas after many years of war. We may expect the hero of an epic narrative to confront evil forces, perform a superhuman task, and rescue vast numbers of people from an extraordinary kind of threat. Failing that, we might hope at least for a great quest unexpectedly achieved, despite perils all around, an action that saves the world, or at least changes it in some momentous way, like Jason claiming the Golden Fleece, Lancelot glimpsing the Holy Grail, or Aeneas beginning the foundation of Rome. In the Odyssey, we find instead the story of a man whose grand adventure is simply to go back to his own home, where he tries to turn everything back to the way it was before he went away. For this hero, mere survival is the most amazing feat of all. Only a portion of the 24 books of the Odyssey describes the magical wanderings of Odysseus on his journey back to Ithaca. These adventures are presented as a backstory partly told by the hero himself in books 5 through 12. The poem cuts between far distant and diverse locations from Olympus to Earth, from Calypso's island to the palace at Ithaca, from the underworld to the cottage of the swineherd. Sometimes the setting feels entirely realistic, even mundane. A world where a mother packs a wholesome lunch of bread and cheese for her daughter, where there is a particular joy in taking a hot bath, where men listen to music and play checkers, and lively pretty girls have fun playing ball games together. At other moments, we are in the realm of pure fantasy, inhabited by cannibals, witches, and goddesses with 6 barking heads, where it is possible to cross the streams of oceans, the mythical river that encircles the known world, and comes to the land of Asphodel, where the spirits of dead heroes live forever. Different characters tell their own inset stories, some true, some false, of past lives, adventures, dreams, memories, and troubles. The poem weaves and unweaves a multi-layered narrative that is both simple and artful in its patterning and composition. The story begins in an unexpected place, in media res, or in the middle of things, the proper starting point for an epic, according to Horace. It is not the start of the Trojan War, which began with the judgment of Paris and the abduction of Helen, and was fought for 10 years. Nor does the poem start at the beginning of Odysseus' journey home, which has been in progress for almost as many years as the war. Instead, it begins with when nothing much seems to be happening at all. Odysseus, his son, and his wife are all stuck in a state of frustration and paralysis that has been continuing for years and is becoming unbearable. Odysseus, at the start of the poem, is trapped by the goddess Calypso, who wants to have him stay there as her husband for eternity. He could choose to evade death and old age and stay always with her. But movingly, he prefers to see even just the smoke that rises from his own homeland, and he wishes to die. Odysseus longs to recover his own identity not as a victim of shipwreck or a coddled plaything of a powerful goddess, but as the master of his home and household, as a father and a husband. He sits sobbing by the shore of the island every day, desperately staring at the fruitless sea for a boat that might take him back home. Meanwhile, in Ithaca, Odysseus' wife Penelope is surrounded by young men who have forced their way into her home and are making merry with daily feasts, wasting the provisions of the household, waiting for her to agree to give up on Odysseus and marry one of them. Penelope has a deep loyalty both to her lost husband for whom she weeps every night and whom she misses all of the time, and also to the beautiful rich house in which she lives, which she risks losing forever if she remarries. She has devised clever ways to put off the suitors, but it is clear that she cannot do so forever. Eventually, she will have to choose one of them as her husband and perhaps leave the household of Odysseus for a new home. When that happens, either the suitors will divide the wealth of Odysseus between them, as they sometimes threaten, or the dominant suitor may gain the throne for Ithaca himself. The ambiguity about what the suitors are seeking matches an even more central ambiguity about what Penelope herself wants. Indefinitely, tearfully, Penelope waits, keeping everyone guessing about her innermost feelings and intentions. As the chief suitor complains, she offers hope to all, sends notes to each, but all the while her mind moves somewhere else. This premise allows for artful resonances with earlier moments of the myth of Troy. Much courted Penelope resembles Helen, the woman to whom all Greek heroes came as suitors. Menelaus, her husband eventually, won her hand by lot, and whom Paris, prince of Troy, later stole away. Like Paris, Penelope's suitors threatened to steal away a married woman as if she were a bride. Penelope's house also echoes the besieged town of Troy, when the Greeks were fighting to take Helen back, but there is no strong Hector to defend the inhabitants. Telemachus, Odysseus's almost adult son, is in a particularly precarious situation. Left as a little newborn baby when Odysseus sailed for Troy, he must be 20 or 21 years old at the time of the poem's action, but he seems in many ways younger. To fight off the suitors and take control of the household himself, he would need great physical and emotional strength, and a strong group of supporters, and the capacity to plan a difficult military and political operation, none of which he possesses. Telemachus must complete several difficult quests in the course of the poem to survive the mortal danger posed by the suitors, to mature and grow to manhood, to find his lost father, and help him regain control of the house. The journey with which the story begins is not that of Odysseus himself, but of Telemachus, who sets out to find news of his absent father. The son's odyssey away from home parallels the father's quest in the opposite direction. The poem intertwines the story of these three central characters, the father, the mother, and the son, and shows us how something different is at stake for each of them, in the gradual and difficult struggle to rebuild their lost nuclear family. The Odyssey puts us into a world that is a peculiar mix of the strange and the familiar. The tension between strangeness and familiarity is in fact the poem's central subject and setting. In the islands of the Mediterranean and Aegean Sea, we have been vaguely familiar with any would have been relatively familiar to any Greek-speaking reader. But this version of the region includes sea monsters and giants who eat humans, as well as gods who walk the earth and talk with selective favorites among the mortals. We encounter a surprisingly varied range of different characters and types of incident. Giants and beggars, arrogant young men and vulnerable old slaves, a princess who does laundry and a dead warrior who misses the sunshine. Gods, goddesses, and ghosts, brave deeds, love affairs, spells, dreams, songs, and stories. Odysseus himself seems to contain multitudes. He is a migrant, a pirate, a carpenter, a king, an athlete, a beggar, a husband, a lover, a father, a son, a fighter, a leader, and a thief. He is a man who cries, takes naps, and feels homesick, but he is also a man who has a special relationship with the goddess who transforms his appearance at will and ensures that his schemes succeed. The poem promotes, but also questions its own fantasies and ideals, such as the idea that time and change can be undone, and the notion that there is such a thing as home, where people in relationships can say the same forever. That is the introduction. Here, let me look up. There we go. Of course. I'm back. That is the introduction. The next piece talks about Homer, which is kind of the... Oh, thank you very much. The next section would be about Homer, who is a sort of orator of these stories. We're not going to read this section just because it's also quite long, and kind of just talks about the background of the people who kind of told the story. But it's basically Homer, very famous, like, sort of orator and poet, who was known for telling this story. Now, I don't actually believe... Now, the answer is probably in these pages. However, I don't want to read them because I want to get to the poem. He is not... I don't believe he's the person who came up with the story, but rather learned it, and was the most famous for orating it. But I may be wrong on that. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Let's see. When was the Odyssey composed? This just talks about the timeline of when it was written or made. This talks about the geography of the land, such as the Phoenicians that are around. This is in the 5th centuries BCE. So, you know, it is quite ancient in Greece. Let's see. I think... Just making sure that there's nothing in here that I need to read before we begin. Main differences, okay, gods, yes. Okay. It tells about people, blah, blah, slaves. There are slaves. Okay. I think that's most of the context I can find here. I don't think there's... Yeah. Okay. All right. I think we are good to get ready to begin. There is a translator's note, however. I'm all set on that. I can show you guys very quickly the... hold on. Where's the... display capture here? Let me put it to the top. Oh, wrong display. Hold on. This one. This here is a map that kind of describes the area that we will be looking at in the story. So you can see here, this is where I think a lot of it takes place around this area. This is where Ithaca is right here on this island here. And then Troy is over here. This is where Mount Olympus is, where the gods reside. And then I guess most of the story, I think we're over in this area here on the left, and trying to get back to this area over here. Yeah, geography, my favorite subject, of course. And then here we have a more zoomed in look of the Aegean and Asian Minor, or Asia Minor, where we can see the names of all these different areas. So Troy is right on the ocean, right on the side here. This is the Aegean Sea, and then this is the Mediterranean Sea on the southern side. Cyprus and Paphos are over here. Lots of islands is I think going to be the theme here geographically. There's Athens right here, Sparta not too far away. I think that's about all that really matters. I don't know if we're going to be going into the Hittites up here. I don't know if we go that far inland. I doubt it, though. And then we've got a little bit more zoom in here on the western side. This is mainland Greece. So this is where... This would have been, I guess this is what is considered Greece. So Ithaca, Skyros, or Syros. I'm gonna definitely pronounce some of these things wrong. You're just gonna have to be okay with that. Nericus, Dulicum, Dulicades nuts. Okay. All right. Without further ado, Squump, let's begin reading the story. Fuck. of the Odyssey. Ah! Damn it! I made myself small. Fuck. Hold on. Yeah. Fucking thing. Alright, there we go. Alright, let me take a drink before we begin. Before the flames catch us, the flames of disaster? Not the flames of disaster. Glad the first section is just to make us feel better for reading the simpler version. It's okay, guy. No one spoke this way anyway. It's fine. It's fine. Also, Olive, good morning. All right. Book 1. The Boy and the Goddess. Tell me about a complicated man. Muse, tell me how he wandered and was lost, when he had wrecked the holy town of Troy, and where he went and who he met, the pain he suffered in the storms at sea, and how he worked to save his life and bring his men back home. He failed to keep them safe, poor fools. They ate the sun god's cattle, and the god kept them from home. Now, goddess, child of Zeus, tell the old story for our modern times. Find the beginning. All the other Greeks who had survived the brutal sack of Troy sailed safely home to their own wives, except this man alone. Calypso, a great goddess, had trapped him in her cave. She wanted him to be her husband. When the year rolled round in which the gods decreed he should go home to Ithaca, his troubles still went on. The man was friendless. All the gods took pity, except Poseidon's anger never ended until Odysseus was back at home. But now the distant Ethiopians, who live between the sunset and the dawn, were worshipping the sea god with a feast, 100 cattle and 100 rams. There sat the god, delighting in his banquet. The other gods were gathered on Olympus, in Father Zeus's palace. He was thinking of fine, well-born Aegisthus, who was killed by Agamemnon's famous son, Orestes. He told the deathless gods, "This is absurd, that mortals blame the gods. They say we can cause their suffering, but they themselves increase it by folly." So Aegisthus overstepped. He took the legal wife of Agamemnon, then killed the husband when he came back home. Although he knew that it would doom them all, we gods had warned Aegisthus, Aegisthus, Aegisthus. We sent down perceptive Hermes, who flashed into sight and told him not to murder Agamemnon or court his wife. Orestes would grow up and come back to his home to take revenge. Aegisthus would not hear the good advice, but now his death has paid all debts. Athena looked at him steadily and answered, "Father, he did deserve to die, but bring death to all who act like him. But I am agonizing about Odysseus and his bad luck. For too long he has suffered with no friends. Sea all around him, sea on every side. Out on an island where a goddess lives, daughter of fearful Atlas, who holds up the pillars of the sea and knows its depths. Those pillars keep the heaven and earth apart. His daughter holds the poor unhappy man and tries beguiling him with gentle words to cease all thoughts of Ithaca. But he longs to see even just the smoke that rises from his homeland, and he wants to die. You do not even care, Olympian. Remember how he sacrificed to you on the broad plain of Troy beside his ships. So why do you dismiss Odysseus?" "Daughter," the cloud god said, "you must be joking, since how could I forget Odysseus? He is more sensible than other humans, and makes more sacrifices to the gods. But Lord Poseidon rages, unrelenting, because Odysseus destroyed the eye of godlike Polyphemus, his own son, the strongest of the Cyclops, whose mother, Thusa, a sea nymph, child of Phorcys, the sea king, and she lay beside Poseidon inside a hollow cave. So now Poseidon prevents Odysseus from reaching home, but does not kill him. Come then, we must plan. How can he get back home? Poseidon must give up his anger, since he cannot fight alone against the will of the gods. Athena's eyes lit up, and she replied, Great Father, if the blessed gods at last will let Odysseus return back home, then hurry. We must send our messenger, Hermes the giant slayer. He must swoop down to He must swoop down to Ogygia. Hold on, I'm actually gonna look this one up. How do you pronounce this? Hold on. Ogygia. Shut up. Pronunciation. Ogygia. It's Ogygia. Okay, got it. I got it. It's Ogygia. Good morning, Star. Welcome to the stream. And welcome to the reading. We continue our tale. He must swoop down to Ogygia right away and tell the beautiful Calypso we have formed a firm decision that Odysseus has waited long enough. He must go home, and I will go to Ithaca to... Okay, let's not do that in the middle of the reading, please. Thank you. I will turn them off if I need to. Where was I? Ogygia right away and tell the beautiful Calypso we have formed a firm decision that Odysseus has waited long enough. He must go home. And I will go to Ithaca to rouse the courage of his son and make him call a meeting and speak out against the suitors who kill his flock of sheep and longhorn cattle unstoppably. Then I will send him off to Pylos and to Sparta to seek news about his father's journey home and gain a noble reputation for himself. With that, she tied her sandals on her feet, the marvelous golden sandals that she wears to travel sea and land as fast as wind. She took the heavy bronze-tipped spear she uses to tame the ranks of warriors with whom she is enraged. Then from the mountain down she sped to Ithaca and stopped outside Odysseus's court, bronze spear in hand. I have an idea to speed this up. Read the first 1 to 7 words of each paragraph before moving to the next paragraph for an entire chapter. If anyone can tell what's going on, they got a wish. That's stupid. We're reading. Hello, Maori. Welcome on in. I hope you enjoy the reading. Hope you're having a good day. Then from the mountain down she sped to Ithaca and stopped outside Odysseus's court, bronze spear in hand. She looked like Mentes now, the Taphian leader, a guest friend. There she found the lordly suitors, sitting on hides. They killed the cows themselves and played checkers. Quick, attentive house slaves were waiting on them. Some were mixing wine with water in the bowls, and others brought the tables out and wiped them off with sponges, and others carved up heaping plates of meat. Telemachus was sitting with them, feeling dejected. In his mind he saw his father, coming from somewhere, scattering the suitors and gaining back his honor and control of all his property. With this in mind, he was the first to see Athena there. He disapproved of leaving strangers stranded, so he went straight to meet her at the gate, and shook her hand, and took her spear of bronze, and let his words fly out to her. Good evening, stranger, and welcome. Be our guest. Come share our dinner, and tell us what you need. He led her in, and Pallas followed him. Inside the high-roofed hall, he set her spear beside a pillar in a polished stand, in which Odysseus kept stores of weapons. And then he led her to a chair, and spread a smooth embroidered cloth across the seat, and pulled a footstool up to it. He sat beside her on a small chair of inlaid wood, a distance from the suitors, so their shouting would not upset the stranger during dinner. Also to ask about his absent father. A girl brought washing water in a jug of gold, and poured it on their hands and into a silver bowl, and set a table by them. A differential slave brought bread and laid a wide array of food, a generous spread. The carver set beside them plates of meat of every kind, and gave them golden cups. The cup boy kept on topping up the wine. The suitors sauntered in and sat on chairs, observing proper order, and the slaves poured water on their hands. The house girls brought baskets of bread and heaped it up beside them. The houseboys filled their wine bowls up with drink. They reached to take the good things set before them. Once they were satisfied with food and drink, the suitors turned their minds to other things, singing and dancing, glories of the feast. A slave brought out a well-tuned lyre and gave it to Phemius, the man the suitors forced to sing for them. He struck the chords to start his lovely song. Telemachus leaned in close to Athena, so they would not hear, and said, "Dear guest, excuse my saying this. These men are only interested in music, a life of ease. They make no contribution. This food belongs to someone else, a man whose white bones may be lying in the rain or sunk beneath the waves. If they saw him return to Ithaca, they would all pray for faster feet instead of wealth and gold and fancy clothes. In fact, he must have died. We have no hope. He will not come back home. If someone says so, we do not believe it. But come now, tell me this and tell the truth. Who are you? From what city and what parents? What kind of ship did you arrive here on? What sailors brought you here, and by what route? You surely did not travel here on foot. Here is the thing I really want to know. Have you been here before? Are you a friend who visited my father? Many men came to this house. He traveled many places." Athena's clear, bright eyes met his. She said, "Yes, I will tell you everything. I am Mentes, the son of wise Anchialus, born of the Taphians, who loved the oar. I traveled with my ship and my companions over the wine-dark sea to foreign lands, with iron that I hoped to trade for copper in Tamis. My ship is in the harbor, far from the town, beneath the woody hill, and you and I are guest friends through our fathers, from long ago. Laertes can confirm it. I hear that fine old man no longer comes to town, but lives in the countryside, stricken by grief, with only one old slave, who gives him food and drink when he trails back, leg-weary from the orchard, rich in vines. I came because they told me that your father was here, but now it seems the gods have blocked his path back home. But I am sure that he is not dead yet. The wide sea keeps him trapped upon some island, captured by fierce men who will not let him go. Now I will make a prophecy the gods have given me, and I think it will all come true, although I am no prophet. He will not be gone much longer from his own dear native land, even if chains of iron hold him fast. He will devise a means of getting home. He is resourceful. Tell me now, are you Odysseus' son? You are so tall. Your handsome face and eyes resemble his. We often met and knew each other well before he went to Troy, where all the best leaders of Argos sailed in hollow ships. From that time on, we have not seen each other." Telemachus was careful as he answered, "Dear guest, I will be frank with you. My mother says that I am his son, but I cannot be sure, since no one knows his own begetting. I wish I were the son of someone lucky, who could grow old at home with all his wealth. Instead, the most unlucky man alive is said to be my father, since you ask." Athena looked at him with sparkling eyes. "Son of Penelope, you and your sons will make a name in history, since you are so clever. But now, tell me this. Who are these banqueters, and what is the occasion? A drinking party or a wedding feast? They look so arrogant and self-indulgent, making themselves at home. A wise observer would surely disapprove of how they act." Telemachus said moodily, "My friend, since you have raised the subject, there was once a time where this house here was doing well, our future bright, when he was still at home. But now the gods have changed their plans and cursed us, and cast my father into utter darkness. If he had died, it would not be this bad. If he had fallen with his friends at Troy, or in his loved one's arms, when he was wounded, the threads of war to end. The Greeks would then have built a tomb for him. He would have won fame for his son. But now the winds have seized him, and he is nameless and unknown. He left nothing but tears for me. I do not weep only for him. The gods have given me so many other troubles. All the chiefs of Same, Zycanthus, Dulichium, the local lords from rocky Ithaca, are courting Mother, wasting our whole house. She does not turn these awful suitors down, nor can she end the courting. They keep eating, spoiling my house, and soon they will kill me." Athena said in outrage, "This is monstrous. You need Odysseus to come back home and lay his hands on all these shameless suitors. If only he would come here now and stand right at the gates with 2 spears in his hands, in shield and helmet, as when I first saw him. Odysseus was visiting our house, drinking and having fun on his way back from sailing in swift ships to Ephyra to visit Elis. He had gone there looking for deadly poison to anoint his arrows. Elis refused because he feared the gods. My father gave Odysseus the poison, loving him blindly. May Odysseus come meet the suitors with that urge to kill. A bitter courtship and short life for them. But whether he comes home to take revenge or not is with the gods. You must consider how best to drive these suitors from your home. Come, listen carefully to what I say. Tomorrow call the Achaean chiefs to meeting, and tell the suitors, let the gods be witness. All of you, go away to your own homes. As for your mother, if she wants to marry, let her return to her great father's home. They will make her a wedding and prepare abundant gifts to show her father's love. Now here is some advice from me to you. Fit out a ship with 20 oars, the best, and go find out about your long-lost father. Someone may tell you news, or you may hear a voice from Zeus, best source of information. First go to Pylos, question godlike Nestor. From there to Sparta, visit Menelaus. He came home last of the Achaean heroes. If you should hear that he is still alive and coming home, put up with this abuse for 1 more year. But if you hear that he is dead, go home and build a tomb for him, and hold a lavish funeral to show the honor he deserves, and give your mother in marriage to a man. When this is done, consider deeply how you might be able to kill the suitors in your halls, by tricks or openly. You must not stick to childhood. You are no longer a little boy. You surely heard how everybody praised Orestes when he killed the man who killed his famous father, Devious Aegisthus. Dear boy, I see how big and tall you are. Be brave and win yourself a lasting name. But I must go now on my speedy ship. My friends are getting tired of waiting for me. Remember what I said, and heed my words. Telemachus was brooding on her words, and said, Dear guest, you were so kind to give this fatherly advice. I will remember. I know that you are eager to be off, but please enjoy a bath before you go, and take a gift with you. I want to give you a precious, pretty treasure, for a keepsake, to mark our special friendship. But the goddess Athena met his gaze and said, Do not hold me back now. I must be on my way. As for the gift you feel inspired to give me, save it for when I come on my way home, and let me give you presents as well in fair exchange. With that, the owl-eyed goddess flew away like a bird up through the smoke. She left him feeling braver, more determined, and with his father even more in mind. Watching her go, he was amazed he saw she was a god. Then, godlike, he went off to meet the suitors. We're going to take a quick moment here as we go into an ad break. I'll take this moment to address y'all. Oh, fuck, I keep doing that. To address y'all, say how you doing, how you enjoying the story so far. Thank you. For those who don't know, if it sounds like my cadence is a little odd, the way that this is written is in a, I think it's iambic pentameter. I'm not actually sure, but it is written and read in a sort of poetic time scheme. So I'm kind of trying to keep to that as best I can, considering I've never read something like this aloud before. So Telemachus and his mother are home. Odysseus is off on Calypso's island. Calypso will not let him leave to come home, and Telemachus is trying to stop a bunch of men from basically eating and drinking all of the food stored in their home as they wait for his mother to give an answer on who she will marry, because they assume that Odysseus is dead. And they're trying to hold off as long as possible so that Odysseus can come home. During this time, Athena in disguise comes down to Telemachus, tells him a plan to go and, I guess, do his own travel to find out if his father is alive or not, and if he learns that his father might still be alive, to come home and just kill all these suitors. Just murk all of them. Whether that be through hiring a bunch of soldiers or devising some clever trap, just get them the fuck out of here. And with that, she then, I'm guessing, just flew away when no one was looking, revealing herself to be a god to him and him alone. To which he was like, oh my god, that was... okay, cool. I'm honestly surprised Zeus wasn't hidden in the suitors. Props to him for keeping it in his pants for once. Yeah, it's interesting to have a more, how do you say it? A more, rounded story about Zeus and the other gods, considering how they are sort of treated in media, especially now. I do not care for this story. It hasn't talked about Zagreus or Melanoe. They are not in Ithaca or... well, actually, neither of them are even really in Greece. I mean, I guess Melanoe sometimes comes up to Greece for a little bit, but not at the moment. She might even still be a baby during this. She might not even have been born during this. We never actually well, yes, actually, she hasn't been born yet, because Odysseus is not a shade yet. So this is long before Melanoe's time, and presumably probably before Zagreus as well. Aura farming, the gods gotta do it. They have no choice. Someone's gotta do it. Someone's gotta aura farm. Might as well be them. All right, we've got about 54 seconds left on ads. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say so far. I like it so far. I'm having a good time. I hope you guys are enjoying the story. With that out of the way, I think we'll get right back into the reading here. Don't want to spend too long on these little interludes in between. So let's just hop right back into it. I don't know why the fire behind me keeps stalling, but I assume it's, it's a tricksy little god. Are we reading the whole Odyssey today? No, we are not reading the whole Odyssey today. The Odyssey is long as shit. It's a long story. We will be doing this for like 1 or 2 hours at the beginning of Friday streams for the foreseeable future until it's done. So no, we are not reading the whole thing today. We're gonna do something different after I'm done with today's reading, and I think it'll be a good time. But without further ado, let's get back into the reading. They were sitting calmly, listening to the poet who sang how Athena cursed the journey of the Greeks as they were sailing home from Troy. Upstairs, Penelope had heard the marvelous song. She clambered down the steep steps of her home. Not by herself. 2 slave girls came with her. She reached the suitors looking like a goddess, then stopped and stood beside a sturdy pillar, holding a gauzy veil before her face. Her slave girls stood, one on each side of her. In tears, she told the holy singer, "Stop, please, Phemius. You know so many songs, enchanting tales of things that gods and men have done, the deeds that singers publicize. Sing something else, and let them drink in peace. Stop this upsetting song that always breaks my heart, so I can hardly bear my grief. I miss him all the time. That man, my husband, whose story is so famous through Greece." Sullen Telemachus said, "Mother, no. You must not criticize the loyal bard for singing as it pleases him to sing. Poets are not to blame for how things are. Zeus is. He gives to each as is his will. Do not blame Phemius because he told about the Greek disasters. You must know, the newest song is always praised the most, so steel your heart and listen to the song. Odysseus was not the only one who did not come back home again from Troy. Many were lost. Go in and do your work. Stick to the loom and the distaff. Tell your slaves to do their chores as well. It is for men to talk, especially me. I am the master." This startled her. She went back to her room and took her son's uneasy words to heart. She went upstairs, along with both her slaves, and wept there for dear Odysseus, until Athena gave her eyes sweet sleep. Throughout the shadowy hall the suitors clamored, praying to lie beside her in her bed. Telemachus inhaled, and then spoke. "You suitors, you are taking this too far. Let us enjoy this feast in peace. It is a lovely thing to listen to a bard, especially one with such a godlike voice. At dawn, let us assemble in the square. I have to tell you this. It is an order. You have to leave my halls. Go dine elsewhere. Eat your own food or share between your houses, or if you think it easier and better to ruin one man's wealth, and if you think that you can get away with it, go on. I call upon the gods. Zeus will grant vengeance. You will be punished and destroyed right here." He spoke, and they began to bite their lips, shocked that Telemachus would dare speak so boldly. But Antinos replied, "Telemachus, the gods themselves have taught you such pride. So to talk so big and brash in public. May Zeus, the son of Cronus, never grant you your true inheritance, which is the throne of Ithaca." His mind alert and focused, Telemachus replied, "Antinous, you will not like this, but I have to say, I hope Zeus does give me the throne. Do you deny it is an honorable thing to be a king? It brings the household wealth and honor to the men. But there are many other great chiefs in sea-girt Ithaca, both old and young. I know that. One of them may seize the throne now that Odysseus has died. But I shall be at least the lord of my own house and of the slaves that he seized for my benefit. Eurymachus replied, Telemachus, the gods must choose which of us will be king of Ithaca. But still, I hope you keep your own possessions and rule your house. May no man drive you out and seize your wealth, while Ithaca survives. Now, friend, I want to ask about the stranger. Where was he from? What country? Did he say? Where was his place of birth? His native soil? Does he bring news your father will come home? Or did he come here for some other purpose? How suddenly he darted off, not waiting for us to meet him. Yet he looked important. The boy said soberly, Eurymachus, my father is not ever coming home. I do not listen now to any gossip or forecasts from the psychics whom my mother invites to visit us. The stranger was my father's guest friend Mentes, son of wise Anchialus, who rules the Typhons, the people of the Or, or the Taphians, the people of the Or. Those were his words, but in his mind he knew she was a god. They danced to music and enjoyed themselves till evening. Then they went back home to sleep. Telemachus's bedroom had been built above the courtyard, so it had a view. He went upstairs, preoccupied by thought. A loyal slave went with him, Euryslia, daughter of Ops. Euryslia, daughter of the Ops. Pow, 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 pow. Sorry. She brought the burning torches. Laertes bought her many years before, when she was still very young, for 20 oxen. He gave her status in the household, equal to his own wife, but never slept with her, avoiding bitter feelings in his marriage. She brought the torches now. She was the slave who loved him most, since she had cared for him when he was tiny. Entering the room, he sat down on the bed, took off his tunic, and gave it to the vigilant old woman. She smoothed it out and folded it, then hung it up on a hook beside his wooden bed, and left the room. She used the silver latch to close the door, then strap pulled tight the bolt. He slept the night there, wrapped in woolen blankets, planning the journey, told him by Athena. Oh, that's book 1. How many books of this are there? Hold on. I'm skipping through to see how many books are in this Odyssey. It looks like there's 24 books. So if we did one book per week, it would take us an extremely long time to get through this. So I will... Do I want to get through... How long is book 2? Oh, book 2 is actually not that long. We'll do book 2 as well today. Yeah, we'll do book 2 as well. Sorry, I have to go backwards. It's how I do it. All right. Without further ado, actually, let me grab a, well, I don't know. Hold on. I'm gonna grab another Rip It and Grip It. Or Grip It and Rip It. Whichever. Zeus actually has a rule for himself that he will not fuck a married woman. He does, however, periodically disguise himself as the husband of a married woman. Well, that's different. That's clearly different. I mean, come on. All right. Book 2. A Dangerous Journey. Let me get this sip going. Dude, Gander is so fucking cute, it actually drives me insane. Cutie patootie. My god! Book 2. A Dangerous Journey. The early dawn was born, her fingers bloomed. Odysseus's well-beloved son jumped up, put on his clothes, and strapped his sword across his back, and tied his handsome sandals onto his well-oiled feet. He left the room, looking just like a god. He quickly told the clear-voiced heralds they must call the Greeks to council. Soon the men, their long hair flowing, were gathered all together in the square. Telemachus arrived, bronze sword in hand, not by himself. 2 swift dogs came with him. Athena poured a heavenly grace upon him. The elders let him join them, and he sat upon his father's throne. The first to speak was wise Aegyptius, a bent old sister. No, soldier. His darling son, the spearman Antiphus, had sailed with Lord Odysseus to Troy. The Cyclops killed him in his cave and made him his final course at dinner. This old father had 3 sons left. One teamed up with the suitors, Euronymous. The other spent their time working the farm. But still the father mourned the son whom he had lost. He spoke in tears. People of Ithaca, now hear my words. We have not met in council since the day Odysseus departed with his ships. Who called us? Someone young or old? And why? Has he found out an army is approaching? Or does he have some other piece of news, which he would like to share with all of us? I think he is a helpful, decent man. I hope that Zeus rewards his good intentions. Odysseus's loving son felt glad, and eagerly got up to speak and stood among them, in the center of the group. The competent official, named Piensnor, passed him the speaking stick. He held it up and first addressed Aegyptius. Here, sir. Now look no further for the man you seek. I have called the meeting. I am in deep trouble. I have no information of an army that might attack us, nor do I have news of any other danger to our people. I need help for myself. My family has suffered 2 disasters. First, I lost my father, who was kind to you as if you were also his sons. Now, even worse, my house is being ripped apart. My wealth will soon be gone. The sons of all the nobles have shoved inside my house to court my mother against her wishes. They should go and ask Icarius, her father, to provide a dowry and choose who should be her husband. They are too scared. Instead, they haunt our house day after day and kill our cows and pigs and good fat goats. They feast and drink red wine, not caring if they waste it all. There is no man to save the house. No man like him, Odysseus. I cannot fight against them. I would be useless. I have had no training, but if I had the power, I would do it. It is unbearable what they have done. They ruined my whole house. It is not fair. You suitors should all feel ashamed. Consider what others in this neighborhood will think. And also be afraid. The angry gods will turn on you in rage. They will be shocked at all this criminal behavior. I beg you by Olympian Zeus and by the goddess who presides in human meetings, justice. But never mind, friends. Leave me be and let me cry and suffer by myself. Or did Odysseus, my warlike father, deliberately do harm to our own side? Is that why you seem set on hurting me, encouraging these suitors? Oh, if only you Ithacans would eat my stock yourselves. If you did that, I would soon get my revenge. I would come through the town and keep demanding until it all got given back. But now, you make me so unhappy. This is pointless. He stopped, frustrated, flung the scepter down, and burst out crying. Everyone was seized by pity. No one spoke. They hesitated to answer him unkindly. Then at last, Antinous began. Telemachus, you stuck-up, willful little boy. How dare you try to embarrass us and put the blame on us? We suitors have not done you wrong. Go blame your precious mother. She is cunning. It is the 3rd year, soon it will be 4, that she has cheated us out of what we want. She offers hope to all, sends notes to each, but all the while her mind moves somewhere else. She came up with a special trick. She fixed a mighty loom inside the palace hall, weaving her fine long cloth. She said to us, Young men, you are my suitors. Since my husband, the brave Odysseus, is dead, I know you want to marry me. You must be patient. I have worked hard to weave this winding sheet to bury good Laertes when he dies. He gained such wealth, the women would reproach me if he were buried with no shroud. Please let me finish it. And her words made sense to us. So every day, she wove the mighty cloth, and then at night, by torchlight, she unwove it. For 3 long years, her trick beguiled the Greeks. Though when the 4th year's seasons rolled around, a woman slave who knew the truth told us. We caught her there, unraveling the cloth, and made her finish it. This is our answer, so you and all of the Greeks may understand. Dismiss your mother. Let her father tell her to marry anyone his heart desires. Athena blessed her with intelligence, great artistry and skill, a finer mind than anyone has ever had before. Even the braided girls of ancient Greece, Tyro, Alcmene, garlanded Mycene. None of them had Penelope's understanding. But if she wants to go on hurting us, her plans are contrary to destiny. We suitors will keep eating up your wealth and livelihoods as long as she pursues this plan the gods have put inside her heart. For her it may be glory, but for you, pure loss. We will not go back to our farms or anywhere until she picks a husband. Telemachus insisted, breathing hard. Antinous, I cannot force my mother out of the house. She gave me birth and raised me. My father is elsewhere, alive or dead. If I insist my mother has to leave, Icarius will make me pay the price, and God will send more trouble, and gods will send more trouble. If she goes, my mother will rouse up furies full of hate to take revenge, and everyone will curse me. I will not. If you feel upset, you go. Out of my house. Stop eating my food. Devour each other's property, not mine. Or do you really think it right to waste one person's means of life and go scot-free? Then try it. I will call the deathless gods. May Zeus give recompense someday for this. You will die here, and nobody will care. Then Zeus, whose voice resounds around the world, sent down 2 eagles from the mountain peak. At first they hovered on the breath of wind, close by each other, balanced on their wings, reaching the noisy middle of the crowd. They wheeled and whirred and flapped their mighty wings, swooping at each man's head with eyes like death, and with their talons ripped each face and neck. Then to the right they flew across the town. Everyone was astonished by the sight. They wondered in their hearts what this could mean. Old Halitherses, son of Mastor, spoke. More than the other elders, this old leader excelled at prophecy and knew the birds. He gave them good advice. Now, Ithacans, listen. I speak specially for the suitors. Disaster rolls their way. Odysseus will not be absent from his friends for long. Already he is near and sows seeds of death for all of them, and more disaster for many others in bright Ithaca. We have to form a plan to make them stop. That would be the best for them as well by far. I am experienced at prophecy. My words came true for him, that mastermind Odysseus. I told him when he left for Troy with all of the Argives, he would suffer most terribly, and all his men would die. But in the 20th year he would come home unrecognized, and now it is coming true. Eurymachus, the son of Polybus, replied, "Old man, be off. Go home and spout your portents to your children, or it will be worse for them. But I can read these omens better than you can. Many birds go flying in sunlight, and not all are meaningful. Odysseus is dead, away from home. I wish that you had died with him to stop your forecasts. You are making this boy angry, hoping that he will give your household gifts. But let me tell you this, which will come true. You may know many ancient forms of wisdom, but if you tease this boy and make him angry, he will be hurt and never get to act on any of these prophecies of yours. And old man, we will make you pay so much, your heart will break. Your pain will cut so deep. I will advise Telemachus myself in front of everyone, to send his mother back to her father's family, to fix her wedding, and the gifts a well-loved daughter should have. Unless he does that, we will never cease from this torturous courtship. We are not afraid of anyone, much less this boy, with his long speeches, nor your pointless portents. They will not come to pass, and they will make you hated. This house will be devoured, and payback will never come as long as she frustrates our hopes of marriage. Meanwhile, we will wait in daily hope, competing for the prize, not seeking other women as our prize. Or as our wives, sorry. Telemachus, his mind made up, replied, "All right, Eurymachus, and all of you, I will not talk about this anymore. The gods and all of you already know. And just let me have a ship and 20 men to make a journey with me, out and back to Sparta and to sandy Pylos, seeking news about when my father may come home. I may hear it from somebody, or from a voice from Zeus. It often happens so. If I find out my father is alive and coming home, I will endure this pain for 1 more year. But if I hear that he is dead, I will come home to my own land and build a tomb and hold the funeral rites as he deserves, and I will give my mother to a new husband." He sat down, and up stood Mentor. When Odysseus sailed off, this was the friend he asked to guard his house, and told his slaves to look to him as master. Mentor addressed the crowd. "Now, Ithacans, listen! This changes everything. Now, kings should never try to judge with righteousness, or rule their people gently. Kings should always be cruel, since the people with whom he ruled as kindly as a father have forgotten their king Odysseus. I do not blame the suitors over confidence, rough ways, and violence in eating up his household. They risk their lives supposing that the master will never come back home. But I do blame you others sitting passive, never speaking against them, though you far outnumber them." Eucritus, Eunor's son, replied, "Mentor, for shame! You have lost your mind, fool, telling us to stop our banqueting. You could not fight us, we outnumber you. Even if Ithacan Odysseus came back and found us feasting in his house, and tried to drive us out, his wife would get no joy of his return, no matter how she misses him. If he tried fighting solo against us, he would die a cruel death. So, what you said was nonsense. Anyway, we must disperse and get everyone busy. Mentor and Halitherses. Since you are old comrades of his father, you can guide Telemachus' journey. I suspect he will not manage to go anywhere. He will just wait in Ithaca for news." Good morning, Nika. Welcome on in. Oh, hey, the Odyssey. Hope you all enjoying the paragraphs about people's thighs. I have not gotten to any thigh paragraphs yet. It's almost like I know her art style. It's also almost like I did say it earlier. I'm guessing you guys didn't catch that. But yes, this was made by Nika as a Christmas gift, which is very, very cool and awesome. Or maybe a birthday gift. I don't know. A gift. A cool gift. A gift of coolness. It's so cool. It's so good. I actually love it so much. It's so fucking dope. It's so cool. Birthday gift. To be fair, Cal, I cannot hear you very well because my headset is hanging on the side. I'm at work. I see. Oh, I'm sorry that you're working. That sucks. I guess it is the day after Christmas. It's not special anymore. Everyone has to go to work again. Nika makes such good art. I actually am so blown away by this piece. Like, I remember when she sent it to me, oh my god, I lit up. I was so excited. I was like, holy shit, this looks so fucking good. It's actually a huge reason why I chose to, like, really delve into, like, doing the Odyssey, even though it's kind of a long, I mean, it's an epic, but, like, it's so good. It's so cool. I need an excuse to use it, and I've been wanting to do reading streams, so now is the time. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, it's almost like you're a professional artist. It looks so fucking good, dude. I know. Just eat it up. Eat it up, eat it up. Yum, 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 yum. Love is in the eye of the artist. Drawings never lie or fartist. Hello, Izia. Rah! Welcome on in. Hey, Nika. Holy shit. Thank you so much for the 45 stream streak. Here is to another 45. Holy shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. I am so happy. I'm glad that you're happy. My website scored 99 triple 100 on page speed. Rah! I'm not sure what that means, but I assume it's a coding thing. If Sammy was here, he would know what that means. But congratulations! I'm glad that things are working out for you. My evil plan of making him read, it's working. Yes, we are on the sort of, I wouldn't say last bit, but getting close to the end of our reading for today. Well, yeah, actually, we are on the last bit. I've got, let's see. I've got, like, 3 long lines left. And then we'll be on book 3, which will start next Friday. It's basically how good your website is performance, SEO, etc. wise. For context, YouTube has a page speed of about 50 and only 1% to get this score. And only 1% get this score. Oh, I see. Damn, you're speedy. I'm pretty good at what I do. Unless you're talking about Izia, in which case that is also speedy. But I'm also speedy. I'm gonna keep reading. Ah! I went away again. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. I'll just start right up at the beginning. Mentor and Halitherses, since you are old comrades of his father, you can guide Telemachus' journey. I suspect he will not manage to go anywhere. He will just wait in Ithaca for news. The crowd broke up. The Ithacans went home. The suitors to Odysseus' house. Telemachus slipped out, and at the beach, he dipped his hands in salty gray seawater and asked Athena, "Goddess, hear my prayer. Just yesterday you came and ordered me to sail the hazy sea and find out news of my long-absent father's journey home. The Greeks are wasting everything, especially these bullying, mean suitors." Then Athena came near him with the voice and guise of Mentor, and spoke to him with words that flew like birds. "Telemachus, you will be brave and thoughtful if your own father's forcefulness runs through you. How capable he was in word and deed. Your journey will succeed if you are his. If you are not his son, his true-born son, I doubt you can achieve what you desire. And it is rare for sons to be like fathers. Only a few are better. Most are worse. But you will be no coward and no fool. You do possess your father's cunning mind, so there is hope that you will do all these things. Forget about those foolish suitors' plans. They have no brains and no morality. They do not know black doom will kill them all, and someday soon, their death is near at hand. You will achieve the journey that you seek, since I will go with you, just like a father. I will equip a good, swift ship for you. Now go back home to where those suitors are and get provisions. Pack them in containers, some wine in jars and grain, the strength of men in sturdy skins. And I will go through town, calling for volunteers to come with us. There are a lot of ships in Ithaca, both new and old. I will select the best one. We will equip her quickly and sail fast, far across the sea." So spoke the goddess, daughter of Zeus. Telemachus obeyed. His heart was troubled as he went back home. He found the arrogant suitors in the hall, skinning some goats and charring hogs for dinner. Antinos began to laugh. He called him and seized his hand and spoke these words to him. Telemachus, you are being so pig-headed. Why not put all your troubles from your heart? Come, eat and drink with me just as before. You know the Greeks will fix it all for you. They will select a ship and crew, and soon you will reach Pylos, where you hope to hear word of your father. But the boy was wary, and said, Antinos, I cannot eat. I have no peace or joy when I am with you selfish suitors. It is not enough that you destroyed my rich inheritance when I was just a little boy, but now I have grown bigger, and I got advice from other people, and my heart wells with courage. I will try to bring down doom on your heads here at home or when I go to Pylos. Yes, I really will go there, as passenger, although I do not own a ship or have a crew, because of you. He snatched his hand away, but as they feasted, the suitors started mocking and jeering. With sneers, they said, Oh no, Telemachus is going to kill us all. Oh, he will bring supporters from Pylos or from Sparta. He's quite determined. Or indeed, he may be fetching some lethal poisons from the fertile fields of Ephyra to mix into our wine bowl and kill us all. Another proud man said, Well, who knows? Perhaps he will get lost in that curved ship and die so far away from all his family, just like his father. And what a pity that would be for us, when we would have to then we would have to share all his wealth and give away the house itself to her, his mother, and the man who marries her. The boy went downstairs to his father's storeroom, wide and high-roofed, piled high with gold and bronze, and cloths in chests and fragrant olive oil. Down there the jars of vintage wine were stored, which held the sweet, unmixed, and godlike drink, lined in a row against the wall, in case weary Odysseus came home at last. The double doors were locked and closely fitted. A woman checked the contents day and night, guarding it all with great intelligence. And that was Eurysleia, child of Ops. He called her to the chamber and addressed her. Nanny, please pour sweet wine in jugs for me, the second best one. Not the one you keep for when the poor unlucky king escapes from evil fate and death and comes back home. Fill up 12 jugs with wine for me, and pour me some 20 pounds of fine milled barley groats, all packed in sturdy leather bags. Load up all these provisions secretly. At nightfall, I will come here and get them, when my mother has gone upstairs to sleep. I am leaving for Sparta and for sandy Pylos, to learn of my father's journey home. At that, his loving nurse began to wail and sobbed. Sweet child, what gave you this idea? Why do you want to go so far? You are an only child and dearly loved. The king Odysseus is gone, lost far from home, and they will plot against you when you leave, scheming to murder you and share this wealth. Stay with us, we who love you. Do not go seeking for danger out on restless seas. Telemachus decisively replied, Nanny, you need not worry. Gods have blessed this plan. But promise me you will not tell Mother until she notices me gone. Say nothing for 12 days so she will not start crying. It would spoil her pretty skin. At that, the old nurse swore a mighty oath, by all the gods, that she would keep the secret. Then she drew the wine for him in jars, and poured the barley groats in well-stitched bags. Telemachus returned to see the suitors. Meanwhile, bright-eyed Athena had a plan. Resembling Telemachus, she went through the city, standing by each man and urging them to assemble by the ship at night, and asked the son of Phronius Noemon for his speedy ship. He promised to give it gladly. When the sun went down and all the streets grew dark, the goddess dragged the ship into the water, and she loaded the necessary tackle for the journey. Right at the beach's farthest end, the goddess The goddess stood and assembled good strong men as crew. She coached each one. Then, eyes ablaze with plans, she went back to Odysseus' home, and poured sweet sleep on the drunken suitors. She struck them, and their cups fell from their hands. Disguised as Mentor both in looks and voice, she called to the boy from the mighty hall, and looked intently in his face, and said, Telemachus, Your crew of armored men is ready at the oar for your departure. Come now. No time to waste. We must be gone." So speaking, Pallas quickly left the boy. He followed in the footsteps of the goddess. They went down to the seashore of the ship and found the long-haired sailors on the beach. Inspired and confident, Telemachus called out, "My friends, come on. Let us go fetch the rations. They are ready in the hall. But quietly. My mother does not know, nor do the other women, except one." And so he led them, and they followed him. They loaded everything upon the decks. Odysseus' son instructed them, and then embarked. Athena led the way. She sat down in the stern, and next to her, Telemachus was sitting. Then the crew released the ropes and boarded, each at oar. Athena called a favorable wind, pure zephyr whistling on wide dark sea. Telemachus commanded his companions to seize the rigging, and so they did, and raised the pine wood mast inside the rounded block, and bound it down with forestrays round about, and raised the bright white sails with leather ropes. Wind blew the middle sail. The purple wave was splashing loudly round the moving keel. The goddess rode the waves, then smoothed the way. The quick black ship held steady, and so they fastened the tackle down, and filled their cups with wine. They poured libations to the deathless gods, especially to the bright-eyed child of Zeus. All through the night, till dawn, the ship sailed on. End of Book 2. And I believe that is a good stopping place for today's reading. So, what did we gather from the story today? Telemachus has been fending off suitors as Odysseus has been gone for, I think, like 10 years at this time, give or take. He has grown into a young man as time has gone on, waiting for his father to return. Everyone thinks he's dead. Everyone thinks Odysseus is either dead or so lost that he's never coming back home, and they are kind of demanding that his wife, who is now Queen of Ithaca, remarries, thus choosing a new king of Ithaca. I think that's how that would work. And they are getting really impatient, and they're also staying at his house, and I guess they just don't have, like, the manpower to kick all these fucking dudes out, so they're just kind of waiting for, like, something to happen. And so Athena, the goddess, comes to Telemachus disguised as a man called Mentor and gives him a fake story about who she is. And it seems Telemachus knows that Mentor is a god, especially because they, like, literally flew out of the building. But I don't think he knows which god it is. I think that the fact that it's Athena is, I think, currently hidden from him at the moment. And so Athena helps him rack up a ship, gets a bunch of people, and they start heading out. It's me, Man Guy Mentor. Oh, okay. And so Athena, they set out on a ship, and they are now on their way to Pylos and to Sparta to ask around and see if they can't get any information on where Odysseus is, since Athena knows where it is, but I believe Athena saying, like, oh yeah, he's on Calypso's island, I think would be maybe not the best proof that Odysseus is alive. Like, they need to go ask, like, actual people. I think that just having some random person say, hey, he's over on this random island, I don't know why. Maybe does Athena? I mean, Athena must know that he's on Calypso's island, right? As far as I know, they couldn't kick out the suitors because it was rude. Yes, you cannot. You can't be rude to guests. I guess that's a big thing, isn't it? Like, you need to feed your guests and be kind to them. Because isn't Zeus the god of hosting, or god of hosts? So that makes sense. Yeah, that's Zeus. Yeah. So hospitality is extremely important to, like, their religion and to their, like, society. So I guess to not garner bad faith with the gods, there's not much that he can do. There might be a slight chance one of the guests is a god. Ooh. Yes, that's why he punished Sisyphus. Yeah. Well, I mean, that and the kidnapping, but Yeah, that's fine. Tried Marvel Rivals for the first time recently. It's hella fun because he killed his guest and was an asshole. Yeah. Which, just in case they